So our first LightSpeed visit, Dave came on site and we pretty much peppered him with all kinds of questions. I think looking back on it now, though, our biggest question was what layout in each area was going to work for us. And Dave came on site and did all the measurements and everything and saw exactly how our product was laid out and what we were doing now and what we would basically have room for. And so we got a couple of different drawings based on that, and we physically went out to our warehouse and taped off the different layouts. And even walked up and down the aisles, and I have this much space, and do we think that's going to be enough space, and what about here, it's really tight on this door, and what traffic is going to be in and out. I mean, you just walk through everything to see if it's going to be the best fit for you. Not only on the front side of the pre-kit line, but on the back side as well, which hindsight, I think we got a little bit lucky with this on the space and what we are able to do on the back side of our pre-kit line, which you realize after you stock it a couple of times is very important also because you spend some time doing that and you want to take the least amount of spaces and stocking all of that stuff on the back of your pick line. So we went with LightSpeed and did the carton flow shelving. And we didn't really see any other option than to use the carton flow shelving. The amount of product that you can fit on the carton flow shelving is really important. And we had the space, so we have 8-foot deep shelving. So we have the space to be able to put a lot of product on our pick line, which we thought was important. Less stocking and to keep your pre-kitter moving faster. As far as date and rotation and how many times you move that product when it comes off the truck from your supplier, we think is really important. So we have laid out our warehouse to come in, bring the product and drop it, and then we see a really important factor in not handling that product 7 different times until it gets put into the tote. And so the carton flow shelving, for the cost effectiveness of it, because it's really not that expensive when you look at your entire project of what we have done over the last 18 months is really huge. Yeah, I couldn't stress that enough, that the ease of putting it together, of installing it, and even the way it works after we've been pre-kitting for a month or so. It just works fabulous. So LightSpeed was really helpful in the entire process because you have the manufacturer, which is General, and I spoke directly with him. And then my supplier, actually I ordered from a supplier that is relatively close distance from us. And we actually spoke to both of them on quantities to order and pitch, helping us with the pitch and putting the shelving just right. Those were all very important pieces when you don't know anything about the product and how well it moves, and you just don't know a whole lot about it. And they were very helpful in making suggestions and sending us. So we already had the shell, I will say, for the beds, the carton flow beds, and so it was really important that our, the universal bracket does work with the shelving that we have, and they sent me a sample of that and a pitch measurement tool so that we knew how many shelves we could fit on each section. So we installed the carton flow shelving ourselves, and it was 3 of us, one of our owners, and then our general manager, the 5-star, and myself. And I wouldn't say any of us are very handy with tools by any means, but we muddled our way through it. And so what we did is there's pallets show up of all of the equipment and everything. And we were a little bit hesitant, but on the morning that we started, I would say maybe for a half hour to an hour, we were kind of stumped or stalled on where did the pieces go and so forth. But once you got past the initial these pieces go together and this goes in here, which literally I would say we struggle with for maybe an hour, hour and a half tops. Then it was a breeze after that. I mean, once we got the first set of universal brackets on and the first shelving set in place, we would use the product. We had the product right there, and so we would use the product and set in there to make sure that we're putting them equal widths apart. Especially, it's a little bit more important on the 5 when you have 5 shelves, but then there's not a whole lot of decision making on where you're going to put them because they're all equal width apart. So then on the other beds that have 3 or 4 shelves to a section, then we knew that we were putting chips there, or we're putting pastry there, and they're all relatively low, so we would literally just place a box on there and see, but the next bed, and made sure we could pick the product easily by getting it out. I would highly recommend that you put your own shelving together. I guess if the 3 of us can do it, then I would say just about anybody could do it.